A true genius admits that she knows nothing. Do not worry about your difficulties in mathematics. I can assure you mine are still greater. The hardest thing in the world to understand is the income tax. If there is any religion that could respond to the needs of modern science, it would be Buddhism. If people are good only because they fear punishment and hope for reward, then we are a sorry lot indeed. You cannot simultaneously prevent and prepare for war. Common sense is the collection of prejudices acquired by age 18. If at first the idea is not absurd, then there is no hope for it. I believe in intuitions and inspirations. I sometimes feel that I am right. I do not know that I am. The revolution introduced me to art, and in turn, art introduced me to the revolution. Life is a preparation for the future, and the best preparation for the future is to live as if there were none. The only real valuable thing is intuition. The true sign of intelligence is not knowledge but imagination. We cannot solve our problems with the same level of thinking that created them. The tragedy of life is what dies inside a man while he lives. Laws alone cannot secure freedom of expression. In order that every man present his views without penalty, there must be spirit of tolerance in the entire population. When the solution is simple, God is answering. A person starts to live when he can live outside himself. I want to know God's thoughts, the rest are mere details. The only thing that interferes with my learning is my education. Intellectual growth should commence at birth and cease only at death. One thing I have learned in a long life, that all our science, measured against reality, is primitive and childlike, and yet it is the most precious thing we have. The more I learn, the more I realize how much I don't know. The ideals which have always shone before me and filled me with joy are goodness, beauty, and truth. Information is not knowledge. If I were to remain silent, I'd be guilty of complicity. We know from daily life that we exist for other people first of all, for whose smiles and well-being our own happiness depends. Energy cannot be created or destroyed, it can only be changed from one form to another. I never teach my pupils, I only attempt to provide the conditions in which they can learn. Even on the most solemn occasions, I got away without wearing socks and hid that lack of civilization in high boots. Play is the highest form of research. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it, earns it. He who doesn't, pays it. God is subtle, but he is not malicious. A man should look for what is, and not for what he thinks should be. Student is not a container you have to fill, but a torch you have to light up. The only sure way to avoid making mistakes is to have no new ideas. Dancers are the athletes of God. You have to learn the rules of the game, and then you have to play better than anyone else. Life isn't worth living unless it is lived for someone else. The only escape from the miseries of life are music and cats. It is the supreme art of the teacher to awaken joy in creative expression and knowledge. As far as the laws of mathematics refer to reality, they are not certain, and as far as they are certain, they do not refer to reality. The true value of a human being can be found in the degree to which he has attained liberation from the self. Three great forces rule the world: stupidity, fear, and greed. A foolish faith in authority is the worst enemy of truth. Nationalism is an infantile thing. It is the measles of mankind. The only source of knowledge is experience. An empty stomach is not a good political advisor. I see my life in terms of music. It is harder to crack prejudice than an atom. At least once a day, allow yourself the freedom to think and dream for yourself. I thought of that while riding my bicycle. Force always attracts men of low morality. Before God, we are all equally wise and equally foolish. Everybody is a genius. But if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. Solitude is painful when one is young, but delightful when one is more mature. Learning is experience. Everything else is just information. What really interests me is whether God had any choice in the creation of the world. The human spirit must prevail over technology. No amount of experimentation can ever prove me right. A single experiment can prove me wrong. A table, a chair, a bowl of fruit, and a violin. What else does a man need to be happy? I don't try to imagine a personal God. It suffices to stand in awe at the structure of the world, insofar as it allows our inadequate senses to appreciate it. Excellence is doing a common thing in an uncommon way. Never do anything against conscience, even if the state demands it. Out of clutter, find simplicity. From discord, find harmony. In the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. How I wish that somewhere there existed an island for those who are wise and of goodwill. It gives me great pleasure indeed to see the stubbornness of an incorrigible nonconformist warmly acclaimed. Be a loner. That gives you time to wonder, to search for the truth. Have holy curiosity. Make your life worth living. See you in the next videos.